In this edition of INN CEO Talks, I'm joined by Warren Stanyer of Nevada Sunrise Metals. And we're talking about what is rapidly becoming an extremely precious commodity, lithium. 1 year ago today, lithium was trading at about $17,000 a ton, and today, well, it's over $70,000. Warren, welcome.
Thank you, Stu. It's nice to be here.
It really is becoming a very valuable commodity, isn't it?
Yeah, and there were so many naysayers when we got into lithium. I remember this one person I shall not name, who's a fairly well-known writer and pundit on metals, especially gold, who is just so against Nevada Sunrise getting into the lithium market. Things have really changed from that time because we had a surge in 2015, 2016, into 2017, and then it plateaued and fell. So the prices came back down to below $20,000 US per metric ton for LCE, which is lithium carbonate equivalent. So it's a blanket term for a lot of different lithium products. But with Tesla's success and all these other car makers, I mean, that's really driving it from what I see. Buses, trucks, they're trying for too, because the batteries have to be huge. So there's a lot more demand for lithium metal as a result.
Well, and then take a look at the number of giga battery factories that are already in the process of having received approval. They've secured their financing and they're starting to build, and there isn't enough lithium.
Let's hope that continues because that's what drives everything that we do. I mean, we're drilling for lithium-bearing clays and lithium-bearing brines in Nevada. And Nevada's a great place to be. It always had that cachet because of the gigafactory in Sparks, just outside of Reno. There's, as you say, more gigafactories. I mean, I guess the real big challenge is mining lithium and then processing it into batteries in a fairly small geographical area rather than sending it to China, having it come back, and all these kinds of things. So I think that's the goal for the future, to make it a really sustainable industry, is to cut out all that travel of the lithium.
Well, in looking at your website, I can see how many projects that you have that are at various stages in Nevada. Give viewers a bit of an overview.
Well, I joined the company in 2008. I was asked to become a director, and it was Nevada Sunrise Gold Corp at the time. It was gold-oriented, obviously. The founder of the company, the founding president and director, had this vision to pick up properties when prices were low, which he did, and then he parlayed that into a public company trading in Canada. At this time, you know, we've taken a turn away from gold in a way. We still fund a certain gold project called Kinsley Mountain. Gold properties are not the priority because of, obviously, the surge in the lithium market. And they're all in Nevada, everything we do.
So where are you at? What stage are you at some of the mine development or site confirmation through to mine development? Because we are in this crunch period over the next 7 to 10 years where the demand for lithium is going to keep rising. Can you be in a position where any of the projects that you have could come online in advance of that?
Will they be feasible and in time to meet this demand? I mean, I think we're looking at something here for the next 10, 20, 30 years out. So I think what the United States wants and what Canada wants is to get deposits outlined that are there for the future, so that you know that you've got an inventory of lithium in the ground. And so we're in that category now, although we don't have a mineral resource estimate yet, and we're drilling holes. So,
right.
We're a little ways away from saying we've got X number of tons and pounds or tonnes of LCE.
But when we take a look at Nevada as a site for lithium, it's it, isn't it?
Well, it's in a perfect position geographically. You can work there year-round. I mean, they had a little bit of snow recently, which can happen. You see it in cowboy movies once in a while. They're in the snow. but often, and it's hot in the summer, but people are used to that, the workers, drillers. So it's a great place to work. The infrastructure's there. There's roads everywhere. Pretty much all that gold mining activity from the 1860s on, the Comstock Lode and all of that. If you've ever read about it, it's quite fascinating. But it opened up Nevada. It created infrastructure that we can use today. These roads that were wagon trails are now paved highways in a lot of cases.
So what's your message to potential investors right now who are going, okay, Warren, why should I be looking at this now if we're looking at something that really is going to be a number of years before it gets realized?
I think that there's share appreciation during the exploration phase. I mean, we all know that curve, and it's happened to us recently. When we started drilling in March, April, we were 5.5, 6 cents. That was the bid and the ask. By June, with the results that we released, we hit 40 cents. So we went from a market cap of about $5 million to over $35 million. So where do we go from here? We keep drilling. We outline a resource. I think there's still room to appreciate. And we've come back a bit in this. It's kind of a fragile investing market at present.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's the long-term plan? Do you envision that you are going to look to work with a major and vend in? Because you have experience doing that.
I do.
Or do you foresee the opportunity that you might build one or two of these sites out if the resource is proven?
I think for a junior company, it's a big stretch to say we're going to become a producer. Like I'd have to look back at Cominco. How did they do it? How did they become tech and become from a small exploration or smaller company, maybe with one or two mines, to the giant that they are today? That's a long path.
Right.
So for us, we have plenty of people that are interested in what we're doing, from South Korea, from the U.S., and that's the path that most juniors take, and I wouldn't see us being very different. We just want to get the best price for our shareholders if we get to that point.
So what's happening right now that's going to produce news in the next couple of months?
Our phase 2 drilling. Mm-hmm. We're still on the first hole. Drilling into these lithium clays is tricky. If it's not done in a very methodical and a very patient manner, you can lose the hole, which is expensive, and there's a lot of tears shed on both sides, the drillers and us. Yeah. So we're still at it. We're going to be at it. We just mapped out our schedule right up till Christmas. The drillers in Nevada, they work on a 10 days on, 4 day off schedule. The Canadians are a little different. They'll go 24 hours, 2 shifts, 12 hours a shift. But down there, I don't know, it's just a tradition, I guess. It's rare to have a company go 24 hours. And it puts a lot of strain on our geological staff as well. So I'm not necessarily in favor of it. It wears everybody raw.
Yeah.
So when you're coping with this schedule, and sometimes there's delays, so it tends to take longer than you think. But we are plunging away into the ground with our drill, and we'll be drilling into the new year.
How are you situated for cash?
About 2 million Canadian working capital right now. We have shares in a company called Cypress Development that we sold a water right to, so that's part of the working capital. But in absolute cash, about 1.8 million today.
So you're okay for the time being with the drill programs that you have underway. Do you envision going back to the market at some point once you get next round of results?
As you know, it's like I always liken what we do to having a tap that's turned on. The tap is turned on, we're spending money. Every day it's thousands of dollars more. So yes, we will have to finance. And we've had a lot of people come to us and want to talk about that. So I'm sure that we will be able to raise funds unless the world ends, which it never seems to.
Well, the demand for lithium looks like it's going to be endless. So you're in a good space.
I think so.
Because the marketplace is going to satisfy what are societal and government requirements.
And that planning for the future, that you don't want to be held hostage by other countries, that you want to have your own domestic supply. So that's really working for us as explorers right now in North America.
Well, I hope you're going to come back with some exciting news in the new year, because it sounds like you're moving towards that.
Me too. I mean, we have samples in the lab right now. We do expect to maybe have some interim news. We send some of them out for a rush. Also, we're acquiring other properties that we've staked, and we haven't talked about those yet, but we will be soon. So there will be news flow and sample results, and I hope they're as good as the last ones.
Well, I'm sure everybody does, and investors will be watching. Thanks for your time today.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure.